So let's take a look at question number 1. The angle on the outside. I know this past day, so I'm gonna say my angle in this case is 65. I know this past days, Monday and today, we started with angle times 2. So that's basically how I'm going to start. I'm gonna go 65 times 2. I'm gonna multiply the angle. And like I said, it's always the corner. I'm looking at the corner. So 65 times 2 is equal to, I have two arcs this time, x and 74. This case, I'm going to subtract them. But I want my angle to be positive, so I'm going to start with the bigger arc. So I'm going to go x minus 74. The order does matter. Don't go 74 minus x. It's x minus 74. Start with the bigger arc. I'm looking at lengthwise because the big one minus the little one will give me a positive number. So no. So we're going to subtract the arcs, and I'm always going to start with the big one minus the little one because I want the number to be positive. All right. Then the rest looks like algebra. 2 times 65, that's 130. 130 is equal to x minus 74. To get the x by itself, let me add 74 to each side. And I'm going to get that x is equal to 204. But the angle times 2 equals the difference of the arcs. Now looking at question number 2, my angle is x, so I'm going to say 2x, right? 2 times the angle equals, I have to subtract the arcs. I see one of them is 125. That's the little arc. I don't see how big is the big one. I don't see a number. However, I notice that the two angles combined make a circle. So for me to know how big is the big one, I'm going to go 360 minus 125, and it gives me 235. 360 minus 125. And the reason why I did 360 minus 125, because I know 360 is the circle. So I have a whole circle. Take away 125, and the remainder is the other arc. So now I know my two arcs, right? 235 and 125. So I have 2 times the angle, so 2 times x equals 235 minus 125. I'm going to subtract the two arcs. I can't combine 235 minus 125, so I have 2x is equal to 110. To get the x by itself, divide both sides by 2. X, in this case, 55. So the angle times 2 equals the difference of the arcs. So I'm subtracting the arcs. Let's take a look at a couple of other examples. Looking at question number 3, I'm going to multiply the angle times 2. And then remember, when I say angle, I'm talking about the corner outside in this case. This thing decides to right. All right, I see the angle is 60. So I'm going to go 60 times 2. Today will be nice. There we go. So my angle here is 60. So I'm going to go 60 times 2 because I have to multiply the angle times 2 equals, I notice the big arc is 195, right? I'm looking at lengthwise. The big arc is 195 minus, now because the little arc has a plus in between it, I'm going to put it inside parentheses. Because the little arc had a plus or a minus. All right, so now let me get rid of parentheses on the left. 2 times 60, that gives me 120, is equal to 195 minus 7x minus 5. On the parentheses on the right side, I distribute the negative. Thus, I have minus 7x minus 5. I see that I can combine 195 minus 5. So I have that 120 is equal to 190 minus 7x. Let me subtract 190. So I have that negative 70 is equal to negative 7x. I think the last part we can see I divide both sides by a negative 7. X equals 10. I put parentheses on the little arc, the 7x plus 5, because of the plus in between it. 7x plus 5. And the reason why I put parentheses because I know that my minus has to go to the 7x and it has to go to the 5. If I don't put parentheses, more than likely I'm going to only put it on the 7x, but I will forget the 5. Now looking at question number 4, I see on my arcs that I'm supposed to have, one of them is 260. I don't see another number for the other one, but I'm going to call it 100 because remember, combined, it's a circle. Combined is 360. So that's why I know that one is 100. So the way I'm going to do this, the angle in this case is 17x minus 5 multiplied everything by 2. The angle times 2 equals 260 minus 100. I'm subtracting the two arcs. On the left side, let me get rid of parentheses. 34x minus 10 equals 160. Right? 260 minus 100 gave me 160. To get the x by itself, let me add 10. So 34x equals 170. Divide both sides by 34. And you should get that x is equal to 5.